July 16th, which is the date that we had talked about. We reached out to MMA Legal for information about how to do this appropriately. One of the things that they did not think to mention was that in order for a vote to be effective, we need to have at least 10% of the people who voted in the last gubernatorial election to be present and voting. So, your task, if you choose to accept it, is to get the word out and try to make sure that everybody knows, and it's going to have to be verbal, that we need a good showing at this town meeting. And they don't all have to vote in favor. It's not about voting in favor.
Numbers.
They need to be present and voting.
Right.
Here we go.
What is that
How
total?
many that is?
128.
Good luck with that.
Better make free pies and dinner.
Yeah, I owe you a wild blueberry pie. I know
Sounds
that.
good. Bring
So-
it there.
Do I think it's doable? It's doable.
Yes.
But
Is it probable?
it's really gonna take the board to get out there and make it known, because any public notices that we send out between now and then aren't going to be effective enough,
Is absentee voting allowed?
not at an open town meeting.
It's a town meeting.
Voters. And if it were a written ballot, it would require 30 days for
Right.
absentee voting.
Right.
So that's another option.
So that's your first decision to make.
So we could do it though in 30 days.
If,
Yeah,
in order for it to take effect this year, we needed to do it
by August 7th.
by August 7th.
So we still have time. I mean, I think if there's a way to, I think it's highly unlikely we're gonna get 128 people into a room.
Even at a referendum, it's,
So if we provide, if there's another way to do an absentee ballot, then in the time frame by August, it's the only way we're gonna pass, we are not gonna get 128 people there.
We don't know that.
How do you get information out for absentee
Wanna bet?
ballot?
The best way to get this to pass is to do it as an absentee ballot.
We can't, if we can't do it as a special town meeting with an absentee ballot.
Carly had a solution to it.
technically you can do it.
Yeah.
Or you
You can
can,
hold off until the November election, which will guarantee you that you get the people, but
But
then it's a
that's
whole
a
year
year
later. I think we try and do an absentee ballot if we're trying to get it this year. You only need 30 days from August, what date?
Fails, we'll have to put it on the November.
Well, if it's right, and if it's gonna fail, but at least we
it
have,
also means that somebody's going to, when would you choose to have the polls open? Because somebody's gonna need to be there, we're not gonna have a clerk.
so,
Yes, you're, to do the absentee ballot, or you have to have an actual election like we just had.
understood. What's the date in August that it has to be done by?
The 7th.
August 7th?
I don't think we'll be done. If we don't think that we can get
It's a big ask for the staff, I will say that.
It's not gonna, we're not gonna get 128 people. If it matters that much to us, we should take a shot at doing this, or it's not gonna happen for a year.
How much does it cost you to do it?
The cost is minimal.
minimal for.
Cost
So, well,
is
for an
not-
open town meeting, it's minimal.
Right.
For an actual polls.
Yeah, but still, it's,
If
You
you
don't
still
pay.
have a cost,
you still have a cost, but it's not thousands of dollars.
no, but you have a cost and you have a demand on staff,
Yes, the cost to the staff will be significant.
right?
But it's the only, I think that's the only way we're gonna get this passed this year, unless we wait until the next election.
Well, that might be the problem that you have to deal with, is it doesn't happen this year.
So
probably
if-
we get an assessor in here if we keep going.
Well, maybe you just extend the contract with whoever, and you have them go a year and a half before you actually have a seated assessor. I mean, that, to me, that's what makes sense to me, so that we're not rushing things.
Yeah.
But of course,
I
that's
don't
up
have
to
a
the
problem
board.
with that.
No.
No, but I brought this up last meeting, we should pause, because we want to.
I think it makes sense to have people vote on this in November after we have had some time to educate people on what this all means.
Mhm.
And then when would the new regime take?
November 2025, if it passes.
If it passed in '24, it would take effect in '25,
Mhm.
in November.
Mhm.
We shouldn't have a problem.
No, I mean, I think it's,
I-
either we do a quick meeting or we wait till November. I don't think we're gonna get 128 people to come, I don't. Being realistic, it's just not gonna happen.
Shane?
I think your better part of Valor is waiting till the November election. If you do it ahead, try to rush into it, and it doesn't work, you're gonna look dumber than dirt. So why not let yourself really get organized, do some education, and be logical about it. You have the out, that you can extend the contract for someone, so you can take care of the job, but you can do it in a much more professional and orderly manner.
Well, it doesn't really matter because we can't get 128 to town meeting.
It's not gonna
We're
happen.
not gonna get them to.
Right.
Unless we bring people in by buses from town to register in West Bath.
Probably we will.
It'll give you ample time to have one or two really good public hearings too, so that people know what they're voting for when they get into the booth in November. And we all know that voter turnout in November is probably gonna be pretty good.
Huge.
Yep,
Makes sense.
and by then we'll hopefully resolve all of the abatements, and they'll have faith in the process and the transition of what we're trying to achieve also.
That's an important
Hope
point.
springs eternal.
Mhm.
I mean, by then we should be done with all this and have built some faith back into the process.
Have we, how many registered voters do we have currently?
I'd say roughly 1,800.
1,800? That's pretty much the entire population.
And how many do we have voting Tuesday? Was it almost 300
Almost 300, 200.
on a non-election?
Something like that.
The big ones, people will turn out.
Yeah, but I think West Bath, pardon me for talking, I think West Bath people, relatively speaking, come out quite well for elections.
Oh, awesome. I mean, the percentage.
Just don't call for town meetings.
Okay, right. I think we all have free hot dogs.
So, in view of the fact that this is on the agenda, we should vote on it. So could I have a motion?
I move that we postpone enacting the warrant for the special town meeting for July and move it to the November election.
Seconded?
November 2024.
Do you have a card? Any further discussion? All in favor? So, we don't have to ask John to just. Okay, old business item number 2, we have already taken care of. Freddie Flaherty. There was a problem with the person who was going to be here with us tonight because there was a storm that canceled her daughter's kindergarten graduation.
Oh, God.
And in this instance, the decision was made that the kindergarten graduation only happens once in a lifetime. So that's why we'll be hearing from Freddie Flaherty next week. Correspondence. Oh, anybody think of any more future last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Correspondence. So we have a letter here from Maine Natural Gas. This is strange, but apparently they have to notify us, the town, because the pipeline goes through town, about their change in their rates. I hope
Hopefully down.
well, this is then, dear customer, as a result of the proposed adjustment for September 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2025, the average monthly bill for residential customers will decrease $5
10.4 cents.
10.4 cents. That
For those of you that have natural gas.
which isn't many people, but if people wish to comment,
Fire department does, so.
yeah,
It's good for us.
that's,
Oh, yeah, there's significant to me with that natural gas.
we have until the 17th of June to petition if we don't like it.
If you don't want our decrease.
If we don't want to decrease it, I don't, we probably do. Public comment, sir.
Is the town meeting just in West Bath?
Is the what meeting?
The
Yes.
Okay.
It's for interested folks from West Bath who could potentially serve on a committee or a task force
For the
for
bike,
the trail.
for the trail, for the bike path, the trail?
Mhm.
Okay. Second question, update any lawn care business?
Oh, Jorgensen will be mowing. They're planning to start on Saturday.
Somebody voted already.
And
Looks good.
is that, every week, or do we find out a schedule?
I don't know what their schedule is yet. They were out prospecting today, looking at all the properties, making sure that they know where all the cemeteries are.
Who mowed recently?
I'm not clear on that. We're not sure.
Steve,
The mowing fairy came?
Yes.
Very aggressive.
Written check.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with Steve.
So,
yeah, Steve Rico said he'd do it.
so right now, the town should be all set.
Yes.
Yes, I met them, as I was coming in this afternoon, and they're excited about doing it. Say, if there's any concerns, give them a call.
Yeah, they were all over that.
And in theory, there will be a more defined bid process the first of the year.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
With specifications and penalties for dandelions.
Oh, gosh.
You're gonna stay with the no main mowing?
Hmm?
No main mow?
Are we gonna stay with the no main mowing?
That was all year long, wasn't it?
You mean that for a couple of
Well, it
years?
was for us.
Yeah.
It works for our house.
It's good for
I-
bees.
I move to be adjourned.
Do you have a second? Any objection from the public? Okay, all in favor? All right,
So,
Oh,
let's go.
your report's from the hall.
Steve,